Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Chelyn with 8-Bit Co-op, and I am back with our second episode. In the last episode we went ahead and did the character creation and played through the first introduction where we got our first companion, Kalisha, and now what we're going to do is go ahead and do a quick run through of the HUD. On the character portraits, you can see their endurance and their health pops up when you hover over it. Here you see their weapon sets. She has a battle axe, and you can see all the properties right there. You can right-click for specific details. And her secondary set currently is her fists. And then you can hover over her class-specific abilities, and then this third one is to be able to talk to your companions. For her,
I'm here.
Her first weapon set is a rapier and a stiletto. Her second is also her fists. Her first, these are her spells, and here are the spells that we picked during character creation: Mind Wave and Antipathetic Field. I know I'm saying that wrong. Our user display here, this is attack, cancel, select all, which is select your entire party. This is the formation of your party, camp. This is your stealth or your scouting. This is pause, and this also tells you your time and day. This right here is your inventory, and this pulls up your paper doll with your quick items, where these are your quick slots that'll pop up over here, and your weapon slots, your stash. You can do that for both your characters. Here is your character sheet with your health, your endurance, your primary and secondary damage. This is slash damage, this is crush damage, your accuracy, your damage reduction, and your 4 different defenses: will, reflex, fortitude, and deflection. Your basic information about your character, all of your attributes and how your attributes contribute to your character, your active effects, the skills, your abilities, and your talents, and these are your party record. This right here is your journal, which includes your quests and your tasks. Your journal, which includes your biography, which you selected with your culture. The cyclopedia, which includes all of the terms that we have run into so far, and some that we haven't yet. And notes, which you can create a note, possibly to note a location or what have you. Your map. This is your area map. This is a world map. Stronghold, which we do not own yet. And this is your menu, which includes game menu, your controls, when you auto pause, your graphics, and your sound. So we're going to go ahead and get started so that we can go ahead and hopefully see some action. You will see at times the tab key does show you things that are interactable, so that we can learn more about your environment. It says these tall glass green pillars appear as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within. Blue objects means there's still something that you can interact within them. And in here it's zero mechanics, and 1 lockpick or 1 mechanic.
I'm here. Hmm?
Over here is your tutorial. You can leave it up. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the tutorial so that it's not too distracting to any of the viewers.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
And we're going to go ahead. You see a man wearing a simple but mostly neat clothes. He is transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hadn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look. I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Well, we might as well try. My thoughts exactly.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravanners. Why did you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Ederi colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire about the Raed Cerian work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. Sounds reasonable enough. Out here, I'm just taking it one day at a time. Well, I better go. Let's get our whole party and see what type of adventures we can get ourselves going on. Looks like Sparfle didn't get far, did he?
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
This path winds through a narrow canyon, back the way you came.
Shouldn't stray too far.
So that's not someplace we want to go.
Those outcroppings.
Oh. Those outcroppings also have a young wolf there. So for her, we want to try to trip him.
Yes.
Let's see if we can't move her over here. Let's see. And now let's go ahead and get her in. All right. Okay.
What you need?
Okay. Well, that looks like...
This is it.
Okay. That's a springberry bush. You're the one who's supposed to be from some big shot noble family, that true? Only to some. Our titles were purchased, not inherited. Yeah, how is it you happen to come here? We hid the truth of our lineage, but it was eventually uncovered. That's a damnable run of luck. Maybe the new setting will turn things around for you. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Raedric's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? I hadn't given it much thought. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. So you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way. Just looking for some adventure, really. You should hook up with an expedition. Some of the bigger towns send regular groups out to the unexplored places, long as you don't mind a little danger. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odima will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Wait, why are you here? Kalisha sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried. But that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ixaminil, but I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me. So, I'm here, and we'll see. Odima I've worked with before. He usually doesn't drive her out this way, but he's doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wonders too. We started in Deerwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I got a brother in Rautai, another in Adir, my sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Deerwood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Alright, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting you any water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down this way. Come on, let's go get your water. And on the way there, we can do some exploring. That's my thought. So that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy games like this, is because I love to explore. And I always think that it's just so exciting being able to find, you know, different things around the environment. Because I've always been, I mean, even back to games like Spelunker, way back on, like, the Commodore 64. Oh wow, that's not a good sight. This corpse is cold to the touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark-crusted blood skin besmirches its simple linen clothing. Travelers, maybe? Or looters? Or bandits? Bad sign any way you figure it. Oh, there doesn't look to be anything down there. That's not a good sign, I can tell you that.
Went hunting. At least you left the water skins. Come on.
As you crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kalisha waits nearby keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Out of the trees emerged Sparfle, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness to his gait, a spastic wobble in his ordinarily deft stride as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparfle, are you all right?
Sparfle's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, The feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Well, that's not good. This does not bode well.
Ambush!
Okay. Okay, so let's take her and have her cast her little moonbeam thingy on him. And he must have interrupted it. Okay. Now, let's take her over here.
What you need?
Out there. Actually, I want her down here. Okay.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
Okay, that's DR 0. Damage reduction is 0. Wolf hide. Let's give her a bow and have her do some ranged. 5? Oh, she's 9. What's she have on? She has a 7. I'm putting these in my stash so that they're not clogging up my inventory. These things can go in our quick items so that they're accessible during combat very quickly. Let's go. Loot some of this, see if there's anything else running around here. Oh, it looks like, oh, there's a plant back here. The footprints around the campfire are indistinct and may have been here for days or longer. What's beer? A cold, frosty beverage for our killing pleasure. Okay, I don't see anything else, so let's get back to camp. Let's see what's going on. We gotta let them know. Oh.
What you need?
Not boding well, if I do say so myself. I'm gonna move her out to the side a little bit more. You gotta be careful with the beam, because if it hits her, it does some really kind of crazy damage. So... and it does do some really crazy damage, so... let's see what else we happenstance into over here. Oh, that's not a good sight. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy on the blood-damp earth. Kalisha puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away the horror like a poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs as they prepare to add you to the sprawling pile beneath them. One of them, towering and severe, with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Theoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. The ruin has not been sullied by our hands. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I am guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Theoden winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It is by the command of the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it is consistent with their beliefs, or because it is what you were told? The man glares. It has always been known to my people. I see. And what of Galawain's edict that weak in age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? The man's nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did, just not you personally. But why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Theoden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead.
How can I help?
Yes?
What you need?
Yes?
Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise, his companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of the wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good, good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin like a jetty beginning to succumb to the surge of a great wave, and where it pierces you it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across his chest and bow, Odima's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
That's some magic wind. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off of your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Theoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers who had been feigning death lunges for Theoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Theoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. From your position, you would have a good chance at hitting your mark. Grab... fire at the attacker. Your aim is true and the hit jars Hayden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hayden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Hayden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There's a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
And with that, we start day 2. And we are going to go ahead and end this video. I thank you for taking your time to watch my video, and I hope to see you next time for another adventure in the series. Thank you.